The word curator originates from the Latin word cura, which means to care. Curators are employed to take care of collections. Cura is also related to the word curiosity, and curators also have a responsibility to their curious audience. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Today, I will present to you an ultimate guide to curatorship. For today's presentation, we will tackle the overview and history of curatorship, the role of curator, its responsibilities, essential skills needed, and types of curator. And lastly, we will also tackle about the modern trends in curatorship. Curatorship is the professional practice of managing, preserving, interpreting, and presenting collections of cultural, historical, artistic, or scientific significance. Usually makikita po ito sa mga museums, galleries, archives, or exhibitions. At its core, curatorship is about selecting and organizing content in a way that engages, educates, and inspires an audience. Curatorship started way back in the ancient origins, where temples and palaces stored religious artifacts, scrolls, and cultural objects. These collections were usually held by priests, scribes, or scholars. During that time, they were not called curators, but they fulfilled similar roles in safeguarding and interpreting important items. Monasteries and churches acted as the main preservers of knowledge and artifacts during the Middle Ages naman. It is between the 5th to 15th century. And during the Renaissance, it is called the rise of cabinets of curiosities. During the Enlightenment era, it is where they brought a surge in scientific thinking, classification, and public access to knowledge. Major national museums were also established during these times. During the modern curatorship naman, this is during 20th century, museums were not just a house of objects, but a space for interpretation. It became an education place and a social dialogue. And today, the contemporary and digital era, where curatorship has become an interdisciplinary and global museum aspect, which focuses on decolonizing museums and evaluating how collections were acquired. A curator is not just a keeper. They are researchers who are deeply involved in studying the history and context of objects or artworks. They can be also like storytellers who create narratives through exhibitions. They are educators that provide meaning and relevance to the public. They are also conservators who sometimes overlap with preservation specialists, which ensures the items are kept in good condition. Lastly, they can also be considered as project managers that coordinate events, publications, and logistics. There are different kinds of responsibilities of a curator. They, they are responsible for acquisition, which is responsible for deciding what collections should be added. They are also responsible for documentation, which involves cataloging and keeping detailed records of each item. They are also involved in research, which investigates the background, significance, and context of objects. They are also responsible for conservation, which ensures proper care and preservation of objects. And lastly, they are responsible for exhibition design, which involves planning and arranging exhibits to tell a story. They are also responsible for interpretation and education. They write labels, guides, and organizing tours, workshops for public engagement. which builds connections with communities and stakeholders. So the essential skills needed to be a curator follows. First is the deep subject matter of expertise, usually involved in history, scientific, or art. Next is research and analytical skills, visual literacy, communication and storytelling ability, project management and organizational skills, and knowledge of conservation techniques. Next is the types of curator. We have here five types of curator. First is art curator, which focuses on fine art collections. Curator is the one who oversees historical, cultural, or archaeological exhibits. There is also a digital curator who handles online archives and digital content. We have also science curator who works in science museums or with natural history. And lastly, we have the archivist, which is more focused on documents, manuscripts, and records. Now we have the trends in curatorship. During this generation where digital era is arising, it is also crucial that curatorship will go modern to cope up with the trends. First is embracing digital tools, like using virtual reality exhibits, online galleries, and interactive displays. Next is focusing on decolonizing collections, which involve acknowledging colonial histories and prioritizing ethical representation. Third is involving community in curation, which solely in working collaboratively with diverse voices to champion inclusivity and accessibility, which means we are designing exhibits for all audiences. So that is all for today's presentation. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. So that